We are going through exercise 6H, and in this video, we'll be answering question 2a, which says the graphs shown are similar to the basic curve y equals negative x cubed. Find possible cubic functions which define each of the curves. So, before we dive into this question, let's just label some important parts on this curve. The first thing is our point of inflection, which is going to be at -2, 0. The other important point is the fact that we've been given our y-intercept, and this y-intercept is at 0, -1. With these 2 points, we're going to be able to define what this function is going to be. So because this is our point of inflection, so our point of inflection, our POI, because that is -2, 0, that's probably the most important information we're given, because what we can do is we can write it out like the following. We know it's going to be x plus 2 cubed plus 0. So this is like our point of inflection form. It's kind of like our turning point form for quadratics, but now we've got cubics, we've got the point of inflection form. We obviously don't have to put this plus 0 there. We also need to remember that we have a negative at the start. And also, here's the important part, we have to put an A here, which is representing our dilation factor. Now, our dilation factor might be 1, it might be another number, so we need to prove what our dilation factor is, so we still have that unknown. I imagine that most of us will forget to put that dilation factor in. We need to put that in, and we need to solve what A is going to be. So how are we going to solve for A? So I'm going to write now, to find A, sub in our other point, so it's going to be 0, -1. Sub in 0, -1. So let's now do that. So that means I'm going to get -1 in my y spot, then it's going to be -a. Then in my x spot, I'm going to put 0 plus 2 cubed. Now, this is obviously going to be just 2. 2 cubed is 8, so it's going to be -1 equals -8a. Then I need to solve for a, so to do that what I'm going to do is divide both sides by -8. So therefore what I'm going to end up with, therefore a is going to be equal to 1/8. I now need to write down what my equation is going to be. So then I would go, therefore again, y is going to be equal to -1/8 x plus 2 cubed. And that is going to be our answer for what a is. So if I put a here, this is getting confusing with all the a's. This is a, meaning this a right here. Hopefully that makes sense. So let me highlight that. That is my answer right there. Something that I imagine some of us might get tripped up on is the negative. So notice that my negatives went away. So I get 1/8. But then note up here that I still have a negative on the outside of the whole thing. That means I still have that negative there. If this remained negative, then the negatives would cancel out and it wouldn't be there. But we know that wouldn't be the case simply because how this graph is drawn. Hopefully that made sense, and hopefully you got that answer. I'll see you in the next video.